When I was a young boy, my grandmother told me stories about Ishi. She just told us about him being up on top of Table Mountain, how the Maidu people took food up to him so to make sure he survived. And, that he was put in jail. He should have been released to the Native American people here, and it was a situation that lived in me that his story needed to be told by the Native American people. That story is one of the main reasons why we pursued the repatriation of Ishi.
I think Ishi symbolized something to all Native Californians. Anyone who's ever heard of Ishi, I think that once it was found out that his remains weren't treated as he requested, that they bring him home. We bring home people from Iraq, Afghanistan, Vietnam, any places that they may have been. Those families want to know, they want to be able to have that chapter of their life closed. Ishi was no different.
With the discovery of gold in 1848, the entire world kind of converges on California. People come from all over the place to the Pacific coast. And when they come, they're after gold, but they're also after land. Indian people stand fundamentally in the way of all of those things.
The European people, when they came here, they didn't bring food with them. All the food sources that the Maidu people relied on was consumed. Searching for gold destroyed our rivers, our salmon runs in the spring and fall. Deer migrations were destroyed.
There were scalp bounties offered for Indian people. There were parties that set out to systematically hunt down Indian people and to kill and destroy them. In California, the numbers go from about 300,000 Indian people to about 15,000. The Holocaust, really, of Indian people in California.
Right here in Oroville, some of the worst extermination actions that took place in the state of California took place right here, right up down those rivers. The Ishis and his family, they're hid out for a long time, up in Deer Creek areas up through there. Surveyors went in there and started shooting them up and tried to terminate them too. Ishi and his family had to move.
Ishi and his people survived by retreating into the more inaccessible regions of their territory, their ancestral homeland, going out at night to find food. It was very hard. I've seen some of the remains from one of the massacre sites. The whole family was massacred, which was Ishi's family.
At the turn of the 20th century, things looked ghastly for Indians. Indians went to the reservations, a place where there was no food, no water, not much land, and the violence, the hunting of Indians was an open secret. In the early part of the 20th century, within living memory, Indians were being disappeared from these wonderful little towns that we now all think of as beautiful little wine towns, beautiful little picturesque villages.
Ishi was part of the greater Yana Yahi tribes. They were right next door. They were our western neighbors. The Yana Yahi people seemed to be constantly under attack.